Are you going to talk first, or do I talk first?
I mean, I guess you talk first.
I mean, yeah, I guess so.
It just seems like how it goes.
All right.
Well, how long do you think we should let this song play out?
We never do it very long. I think probably now.
Wait, now is when we should stop the song? Okay.
Oh.
Oh.
We can also drop the
Well, wait. That's the background. Hang on. Oh my goodness. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Some Nobodies Doing Chatterboxy Stuff. You know, we are back and we're doing it. And boy, we're doing it good. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Sometimes.
Okay, perfect.
Only when you're talking.
If you guys don't know, we are Some Nobodies. My name is Zach. This is Dylan over here. And we are content creators. We are magic makers, if you will. If your magic is a podcast comedy, then we do create that magic. And we have some friends. None are here, which is perfect. Yeah. This is how I like it.
Yeah.
Just me and Dylan. He's going to be the big spoon. I'll be a small spoon when it comes to comedy, and we're going to do that. And before everything else goes on, obviously we got to get to our weekly skit.
Of course.
And if you know anything about what we do, we have a great weekly skit at the beginning. And to put it, quickly, let's just get down to it.
Okay.
Let's just get down to it. And if you guys don't know, the weekly skit, which for some reason is nowhere near how the music buttons go, but the weekly skit, I missed the first one. Flop quiz, everybody. Test your trash film knowledge. And as you guys know, each week we poll all of our viewers and our listeners, and we ask you guys, give us a movie that you know for sure we haven't seen, and we're going to just binge watch it real quick on the air. Actually, this part is pre-recorded, so you're getting this edited right before we actually watch the movie in real time. Then we go live after that. Yes. So we're going to watch the movie, and then we have just a quick multiple choice quiz. We just take this quiz that was given to us. If you remember last week, for some reason, our viewers are really into us watching Adam Sandler films. So last week we did the movie Click. Dylan did a great job. For some reason, none of that media stuck into my head. And as we looked around, I did a poll. I asked everybody all this week, what do you think we should watch? And overwhelmingly, Shaquille O'Neal, he had put up here on Twitter that Flop quiz, the next one needs to be That's My Boy. There's no way Dylan has seen that. And let's see if Shaquille O'Neal is right. Dylan, have you seen That's My Boy, which is a 2012 film starring Adam Sandler and Andy Samberg?
Once again, Shaquille O'Neal is correct as the Oracle. I have not seen this movie, so let's go.
Okay, hang on 1 second first. Let me just give you some quick details. Obviously, it's 2012, and the description on IMDb, and I haven't seen this movie either, and the movie description is, while in his teens, Donnie fathered a son, Todd, and raised him as a single parent until Todd's 18th birthday. Now, Donnie resurfaces just before Todd's wedding after years apart, sending the groom-to-be's world crashing down. Okay, everybody, sit tight. We're going to do some quick film magic editing things, and we're going to, unfortunately, watch this movie. So give me 1 second. Okay.
Ugh.
Wow. Okay, so that was honestly, I don't know why the people that like our show, man, I got sweaty with how weirdly bad that was.
I don't know. I think we have bad fans.
I think we have some pretty bad fans. But either way, they like to put us through a little bit of torture, and they created a multiple choice for us to take, Dylan. So if you're ready, right, we have a quick multiple choice. Question number 1. Who directed the movie That's My Boy? We literally just watched it. We saw the credits, the beginning and the end. Who directed the movie That's My Boy? Now we have a multiple
okay.
choice if you need it.
Yes, please read me the choices.
Okay. A. Adam Sandler. B. Dennis Dugan. C. Sean Anders. D. Judd Apatow.
Was Dennis Dugan Star Trek?
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be Scotty, right?
In Star Trek?
Isn't that the actor who played Scotty in Star Trek? The original?
No.
The original series. No? Oh.
No, I don't think that's true at all.
Oh, that was James Doohan. Never mind.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Different. Sorry, can you read the choices again?
Of course. You have A. Adam Sandler.
Mhm.
B. Dennis Dugan. C. Sean Anders. Or D. Judd Apatow.
It's not. It's not clever enough to be Apatow.
Mhm.
It's definitely not Adam Sandler because he doesn't direct. I don't think he doesn't direct his own stuff.
That's true.
And there were enough of his friends in here. I'm gonna go with C.
Yeah, obviously we would do Sean Anders. Once again, we just watched this film. We saw the name in the credits.
I fell asleep immediately.
Okay.
It was like someone had come up behind me with a sock full of bricks.
Yeah.
And made me go to sleep with something else. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's called whiskey, but I'm not really sure how your day's going specifically.
It was a sock full of whiskey.
Question number 2. Which actor plays the role of Donnie Berger? And that's my boy. Easy one. We just watched this film, Dylan. Me and you just sat through 1 hour, 56 minutes of a film. Who plays the actor? Donnie Berger. Donnie Berger. Andy Samberg. A. Andy Samberg. B. Adam Sandler. C. Will Ferrell. Or D. Obviously, Kevin James.
Will Ferrell was in this movie?
Obviously.
C. Will Ferrell.
We just watched this film.
Well, it's got to be C. Will Ferrell.
It was incorrect. It's actually the star of the movie. Adam Sandler, the star of That's My Boy. Obviously, Big Daddy Donnie.
Man, this thing just slipped through my brain like water through my hands.
I almost question why we do this. You never retain week after week. I don't know how, but normally you do pretty. You do better.
They're all the same. It's just a black screen for a blip.
Question number 3. What is the relationship between Donnie Berger and Todd Peterson in the movie? Obviously, we know now that Donnie Berger is Adam Sandler, but Todd Peterson. Remember, we just watched this film.
Adam Sandler plays the kid, right? The boy.
Adam Sandler is the dad.
Oh.
Andy Samberg is the son.
Okay.
Now, is Donnie Berger and Todd Peterson, are they A, friends, B, cousins, C, father and son, or D, brothers? We just watched this entire film. Now, people, I need you to understand that this is not a joke where Dylan is playing that he doesn't know. He's not acting at all, which is odd because we just watched this film.
No, my brain is notoriously smooth.
Yeah. Donnie Berger, Todd Peterson.
Yes. I'm going to say that they are brothers because boys are brothers.
We just watched this film, and you would know that they are father and son. They're the main two people.
Wait, I'm sorry. Can I swear on this show?
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
cool. Number 4. What is the name of Todd Peters' fiance in the movie? Now, we just found out Todd Peters is Andy Samberg, the son of Adam Sandler. Now, what's the name of Todd Peters' fiance, who's a prominent figure in this movie? And remember, we just watched this film. We just spent 2 hours together sweating, watching this film. A, Mary McGarrigle. B, Vanessa LaFay. C, Jamie Martin. Or D, Amanda Klein.
Wasn't he married to Joanna Newsom in real life?
I cannot verify that.
I'm going to say Joanna Newsom.
Okay.
Secret answer.
Incorrect. Unfortunately, it was Amanda Klein. And remember, we just watched this. The movie is about Todd's wedding. B, in That's My Boy, what does Donnie need to why does Donnie need to reconnect with Todd? Why does the dad need to reconnect with the son? Like, you remember this. We just watched this. To borrow money. Oh, you're going to... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no. I keep forgetting this is multiple choice. I'm sorry.
Oh, this is... Okay.
I'm so ready to go.
Okay. Well, go ahead.
Inheritance?
Okay. A, to borrow money. B, to attend Todd's wedding. C, to avoid going to jail. Or D, to reconcile their relationship.
Well, inheritance is kind of like borrowing money on a very long term. So I'm going to go with A, borrowing money.
Yeah, unfortunate this week, Dylan. You are 0 for 5,
Man.
which is upsetting. Usually, you're very good. I guess Adam Sandler just does not jostle that part of your brain
Like I
that you
said,
needed to jostle.
bounces off like a uh,
Bounce.
like an Adam Sandler movie off my smooth brain.
Adam Sandler does just bounce right off of a smooth brain. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, folks, that's this week's version of Trash Film Knowledge. And if you want to let us know what movie we should maybe check out or do our next flop quiz on, look up Dylan on Twitter, and that would be great for both of us because he needs digital.
I need friends online
He
I will never meet in real life.
He needs the digital. Okay, so let's get down to what the show actually is. Once again, we are content creators. We like to go around and do some weird stuff and talk about weird things, and then go back and then go over it again and say, "Wow, that actually was really good."
Mm-hmm.
We're very funny. We are very creative men. Before then, I do like to throw some news trivia at Dylan or some news bits and just see what he thinks about things that I find vaguely interesting. And there's literally no way he should find this interesting at all. But I recently saw the new Hellboy trailer. Have you happened to see that?
I did not see the trailer, but I saw that they were making one, and I was like, "Oh, neat."
Yeah, and the weird thing is I think that for some reason that universe is very deep. It's a vast universe with very interesting, cool stuff. But what is it about the Hellboy that you think that just cannot resonate properly with with people? Like, we saw the last one. I think I'm not sure if we seen it together or not. I think we did. But that's
we might have watched it on one of our stream watches, just
with the big
hanging
sword,
and
giants and
Baba Yaga's in it.
Baba Yaga. No, I think that's John Wick.
With Adam Sandler?
No, that's Adam Wick. No, it's just like the first one done by Guillermo del Toro. I thought it was a great. It was a good interpretation of what Hellboy should be, not with a huge budget. Then they get to budget boost, so you get the Golden Army, and I think that was very good. I found that very interesting, and not exactly how the comics go over it. And then there's just like this long lull where you think that there should be another one because the second one did so well. Ron Perlman's great, I think, as Hellboy. I think that Abe Sapien was a great character, and I think they did a lot with that. But then the one Hopper came out, and that just didn't do too well. And do you think that this is a universe that should be worked on?
I mean, I like Hellboy a lot as like a franchise. Comics are great. Mike Mignola's art is fantastic. Hellboy's a cool character. It's an interesting setting. I don't know what it is about this series that just turns Hollywood brains smooth. Yeah. Like I don't know. I thought Del Toro's versions were fun, very cheesy, but fun, and I thought it was appropriate. That 2019 Hellboy is something else. I watched it first on an airplane, and I was like, you know what? This kind of sucks, but also it's charming in a weird kind of like. There's something that some of the magic in that, some of the visuals in that are really interestingly designed. When the girl the medium, when she throws up the ghost things that are tied to her, like that's an interesting choice. Baba Yaga's gross. I thought the house is cool. I thought it was really neat, some of it, but man, it feels like it was made in like 2008. And that's just like the new metal soundtrack. Like, I don't know what was going on.
I agree. There just something about that just did not work, but it also was cool in a weird way. Like you could tell that there was heart in making it. It just didn't work. Do you think that Hellboy works better as a series or strictly animation because of how that world interacts with itself?
I would really like an Invincible style animated series of it. Yeah. I think that would be a really cool way of doing it. I don't think it's going to happen. Unfortunately, even though Invincible seems like it's getting a lot of good reception, traction, audience, and critics like it. I don't know. This one looks interesting. in that it looks like they're tonally making it a horror movie, and Hellboy has always been kind of like monster horror. It's never been like, it's not like action all the time or like end of the world is coming kind of stuff. It's always been like gothic horror, like modern supernatural stuff.
Right.
So we'll see, but I am not optimistic just because it's Hellboy, and the live action adaptations of Hellboy are bad to fair.
And what did you think of? Did you happen to see like a thumbnail? Did you see anything at all, or just saw that it was being?
I saw a cap of what's his face as Hellboy.
Yeah, I'm not sure the actor's name who's playing Hellboy. There is something about it that almost looks like a fan film for some reason. Like
Jack Kesy, Kesey, Kesy.
Yeah, I
He
don't
is
know.
in The Strain. If you watch that on FX,
I remember that. I mean, that's a Guillermo del Toro show.
Yeah, and I thought The Strain was mostly good.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the first season was pretty good, and I stopped watching after that, so I still have positive impressions of it.
Yeah, and that's
I
fair.
think it does look like a fan film. I'm okay with that. I think Hellboy himself, I'm looking at a picture of him right now. I think he looks good.
He doesn't look big. Like I feel like Hellboy should be like big. You know, like he couldn't just fit in rare clothes. This just seems like a guy.
I don't know. Is he big in the comics?
I mean, he's not huge, but I guess he's like large man size. So, yeah, I mean, I'm you know me, I'll go see any movie and I give all movies a chance. But it just seems weird when like movies kind of just keep not doing well. I'm just curious what it is that makes studios want to give this more time and effort.
I mean, Mike Mignola has something to do with this.
Yeah.
Production wise.
Which is great.
It seems like it's being written partially by the guys who wrote Crank, which I think Crank is just stupid fun.
Yeah.
And they are clearly not afraid to go places tonally that other movies won't. So maybe this will do okay. I think it's gonna be critically well received. I think audiences are gonna like it. I don't think it's gonna make much money. And I don't think it'll get a sequel.
And I agree too that it needs to stick with the horror, spooky, almost mystery thing instead of just punch, shoot.
Give me some weird monster stuff. Like have him fight some monsters that he can't just punch to death.
Yeah, that'd be great. All right, another thing that I saw coming out soon that I'm interested in, and also interested in your point of view, Fallout. The next Fallout, London. They said that there's an end in sight, is what I saw recently. And if you know the Fallout, what?
No, keep going.
Oh, if you know the Fallout series, Fallout 4 was the last one that just came out, which I guess was like 5-6 years ago now.
It was a while. It was a while ago. I think I was still in Michigan at the time. It was like 7 or so.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, yeah, it came out a long time ago. Obviously, right around Fallout 3, some new designers came on board and kind of changed up how the things went. And then after 3 was New Vegas, which a lot of people say is probably the best one. I am a fan of Fallout 4 myself. I played the poop out of it. I absolutely love that game. That's a game that I just continue to just restart and try to play differently. But then there was Fallout 76, which obviously had some controversy behind it because it came out initially as a pay and play program and people weren't into that. And then they kind of built actual like missions into it. And they became more of a campaign style with added MMO attitude. And I never actually played that one. I don't know how good that is. It never seemed interesting to me. I don't like interacting with other actual players in like a large server. Unless I'm doing like sniping stuff or purposely trying to kill something. But if I'm playing a game for storyline and for atmosphere, I don't just need some punk that's been playing forever to just come in and kill me right away. That's kind of annoying. So I don't play it. What's your experience with the Fallout series?
I played Fallout 3 a lot in college. I modded that game super heavy. I did the classic Bethesda thing where you mod a game until it breaks. figure out what broke it, and then play it for a long time. I played New Vegas as well, did the same thing. I never played 4. I never played 76. I did play... What was the little mobile game where you build a little fallout shelter?
Yeah, like Vault
Dweller or something?
Dweller, yeah.
I played that for a little bit. I thought it was fun. I liked the Amazon series quite a bit.
Yeah.
It took a couple episodes to like remember how goofy Fallout can be, but yeah. I liked it.
Are you interested? What do you think? There's anything with the background of London that's going to make it more impressive, or something different than the cities we've already seen?
This is the mod Fallout London.
This is a whole new game.
I think it's a mod for Fallout 4.
Really?
I think so. I think it's a total conversion mod.
Oh, wow! For some reason, I logged in my memory as like a Fallout 5 kind of situation.
I mean, these Bethesda total conversion mods tend to be their own game anyway, so
cool.
I get it. I think it would be interesting to see. I don't know. I think so much of Fallout's charm is the 1950s America post-apocalypse.
Yeah.
And I don't know how well that whole thing would translate to London, but go for it.
Yeah. Because I mean, Boston's kind of interesting because like you just have like the city, and if you know Boston, then you're like, oh, this is actually pretty, pseudo, on that one main drag. I think the New Harbor one was really interesting, being like up in Maine and like that kind of foggy wetlands. I thought that was kind of cool. Vegas, I thought was a really great idea because that's just out in the desert. So I don't know what about London I would find more interesting than 4, I guess. But I like them all. What was your favorite mod so far that you've added to Fallout?
It's been a very long time, so I do not remember.
I think. That's fine. Me and my daughter, we played Fallout together, and once I showed her the mods, then it just kind of went crazy. And then when I played my game after she played with it, Gollum was our sidekick.
Oh hell yeah!
And he was wearing an armored Batgirl outfit. Nice. Which was a power armor. It was so cool. Cool.
It wasn't a mod, but I always like playing Bethesda games with the command console open because I find the low-level Bethesda gameplay just mind-numbingly boring.
Yeah.
So the minute I get out of the little tutorial dungeon, whether it's Oblivion, Skyrim, Fallout 3, New Vegas, whatever, Tilt key, give myself a bunch of skill points. Let's go. I don't know. I'm not. I'll admit it. Yeah.
No, that's fine. Yeah, you're here to play. That's fine. And then the last bit of trivia that I wanted to pick your brain about was they kind of released some footage on the next Marvel show, the Agatha All Along, and they showed a clip of Aubrey Plaza with her, green hood and cape on. I don't think it was a clip. I think it was just stills. But there's something about Marvel that feels deadish to me. Like it's just like, who really cares? And then it's like, well, who really cares about the shows? And then it's like, well, who really cares about this show? And did you watch WandaVision?
I did. I thought it was good.
It was good. Yeah, it was
good enough.
It was very good for expectations. It was, looking back now, it's like, okay, it was good enough to be what it is. That is what a comic book show should feel like. Each one should feel quirky and different. It's like picking up like a one-off comic where there's a new artist and a new writer. Like it should have a different feel to it. But do you think there's any draw from your point of view for another series that is strictly about witches or the coven they're in?
I mean, I like that. I like witchy stuff. The Witch TV is one of my favorite movies. And I just think it's a really interesting thing.
Yeah.
I don't think that these are the types of witches that I'm interested in. And the reason I say that, the final fight in WandaVision was 2 people floating around with different colored power around them, throwing explosive blasts of energy at each other.
Yeah.
The most witchy thing was when Wanda did the little sigil thing on the walls to cut off Agatha's power. Neat.
Yep.
That's cool. There was part of the thing I like about like witchcraft is like the creative kind of weird sympathetic like magic stuff they do.
Yeah.
it's not that I won't watch this because they're witches. I won't watch this because I am out of Marvel.
Yeah.
I mean,
I agree. I think that if a Marvel movie came out and it wasn't like a character that I was really invested in for some reason, I'd probably be like, I'll catch it. I'll catch it. And that was not like me before. Like in phase 1 and phase 2, I would go and do like the all-night marathons and watch everyone up until the next one. Now it feels like content. That's annoying. But speaking of WandaVision, I don't think we ever talked about it on like a show before.
Not
so
on a show.
If we did, I apologize. But I'll ramble on. But I did like WandaVision. I think the idea of like trauma causing a town-wide event, I think is so interesting. And I think that's so cool. And I think that, obviously this is kind of how it worked in the comics a little bit, but I think building on that is a really cool idea as well. But I don't see the whole crux of what WandaVision was about this woman's trauma and dealing with it and realizing they're bad and then changing it for themselves. Right. And they also never really had any consequence to what they did, which was, hijacking an entire town.
And
it seemed like nothing that is really what the show was about is going to transfer into the show. So this is just a brand new show. And I think I'm kind of done with most of that.
It's one of those things where, like, I remember when WandaVision came out and the song Agatha All Along kind of like hit a little viral note on the internet.
It blew up.
Yes. It was a catchy song, and Catherine Hahn's great. I love her.
Yeah. It topped that. It was like a #1 Spotify download.
Sure. This feels like they were like, oh, we got a hit.
Yeah.
Let's make it let's full order it. And I'm like, could we not do a one-off like Werewolf by Night instead?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Give her a 45. I mean, hell, give her a 90-minute Disney Plus movie.
But I mean, the turnaround time for MCU stuff, it's like, okay, so they realize they have a hit only when the audience watches it, and now they have to figure out how to rewrite that hit into what they're doing next, and then how to put that into something to be able to maximize on you guys like that, right? But this is like years after WandaVision came out.
Yeah.
And it just seems like, okay, so there's witches. So what? So what?
Yeah.
Like there's aliens and there's everything. But I guess like witchcraft is cool. Like I'm down with witchcraft. I think witch stuff is usually really cool. And like a witch battle or a wizard battle, I think that's totally dope. And I would love that. But
I think the issue is that the magic in Marvel so far has been so uninteresting. It's like Doctor Strange mostly just does a fire whip or a fire sword or their little magic discs, like their little spinny LED wheels.
Yeah.
Shang-Chi magic there was really cool. What they did with the rings was really interesting. Like stuff like that. But all of the like actual witchcraft and stuff has been like really bland. And it's like, do something cool. I don't know.
Do something.
I will say, I don't know if you knew this, but the show has had several titles under development. You know about this. Okay.
I know, yeah.
You know at least some of them. So I'm just going to go through them.
Yeah.
So, song was Agatha All Along, which they kind of were like, hey, we'll do this as a show. Obviously not going to be the final title.
Mm-hmm.
They announced it with Agatha House of Harkness. Fine. Marvel-y title.
Yeah.
Renamed it to Agatha Coven of Chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. It's a bit more descriptive of what it is.
Yeah, and less reminiscent on House of M or House of X.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then there was a post on Twitter or X, whatever. That was a title screen that was Agatha, the Lion Witch with the Great Wardrobe.
Whoa. That's terrible.
They took it down minutes later.
Oh, wow.
They took it off Twitter minutes later with I mean, it was kind of clearly a joke, like they would never have named it that, but even still, that's And apparently now the title is back to Agatha All Along.
Yeah.
Which is, of the 3 serious titles, in my mind, probably the worst of the 3.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Because
and also, was it?
No.
Wasn't it grief? Right? Wasn't it like internal struggle? Like, was it actually Wanda, or was it actually Agatha?
I thought Agatha was using something to manipulate and amplify Wanda's emotions. Maybe not, but there was definitely a reveal that. I mean, I hope it's not. I mean, as we've said before, we have not watched WandaVision I haven't watched it since it came out.
Yeah, no, the same.
But the big reveal was like Agnes was Agatha all along. And I don't remember if the reveal was that Agnes has been manipulating her all along. I think it was.
I think that it was. But then also, like, at the end, like, Wanda just put Agatha, like, in that town.
Yeah.
So she's, like, just a civilian. I don't know. Yeah, whatever.
Honestly,
I'll watch it. Who knows?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Speaking of watching stuff, what are you consuming, dude?
Oh man, what am I consuming right now?
What are you consuming? What are you into?
I am reading the Troy series by David Gemmell.
Okay.
He's a late British author who wrote epic fantasy in like the 80s. He's one of the like OG kind of like he helped build a foundation for like what modern epic fantasy is. But he wrote a very down-to-earth retelling of the Trojan War where everybody's very human, and it's a love story between Aeneas and Andromache. And it covers like 6 years as the Trojan War rages on. It's very, very good. So I'm rereading that because it's a comfort read, and I wanted to do something familiar. I finally finished Blue-Eyed Samurai, Season 1.
Oh, so good.
I had to give it 2 tries.
Really?
So I had started watching it immediately after I first watched Scavenger's Reign, which I love. I love that show.
Literally, that was what I was going to talk about.
Okay. We'll talk about it when you're ready. But so I watched that, and then I went right into Blue-Eyed Samurai because it came out at the same time. And the animation style initially reminded me of the Dragon Prince. Mm-hmm. And I'm not a huge fan of that animation style where it's cel-shaded 3D. It looks cheap to me, which, not to be demeaning, but it looks cheap to me.
No, I agree.
It looks like a Telltale game.
It looks easy. It looks easier to make than most other animations.
Yes, and this is me saying this as someone who has no experience animating anything on a large scale ever.
And not animate anything.
No. I am hardly animated myself.
Yeah.
That's why Zach is the emotional heart of this show.
I am emotional. That is true.
Aw. But I gave it another try because so many people personally recommended it to me, including people whose opinions I respected. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I liked it quite a bit all the way through. It grew on me. Once I got past the animation, I was like, you know what? This is pretty good. There's some really good stuff in here. And the fight choreography in some of the later episodes is really pretty damn good. So, Blue-Eyed Samurai. And then the lead into what will be a second season, which I think they're doing. If Netflix was intelligent and didn't cancel it immediately because people didn't leap off their couches to watch it the day it was released.
Yep.
Second season, looking forward to it.
Yeah, I was really, I was the exact same. Like when I saw the animation, I saw the little trailer, I was like, wow, I like this world. I like kind of steampunky samurai stuff. I think that's a really cool blend of things. And it wasn't very steampunky. I don't know why. I guess because that gun. It's because the gun the guy has like in episode 1.
And stuff,
Flintlocks, yeah. But I thought that it's not to Arcane level to me. I think that Arcane is almost top tier animation as far as character development and story and visual storytelling. But I do think that there's something special about Blue-Eyed Samurai that when I started understanding the characters more, I think that they did a really good job of giving these characters deep emotions and watching them make decisions based on those emotions. And I think that we've created enough stuff to realize that, you know, your characters need an internal and an external motivation to do things. And you don't really get a lot of that in modern stuff. And I think that Blue-Eyed Samurai did a really good job with that. I would love a season 2. But it's so interesting that you talked about Scavenger's Reign, because I don't know how this eluded me so long, but it was on Netflix, and I was like, just doom scrolling on Netflix, just looking for something to put on. And I guess I stopped at Scavenger's Reign long enough to like witness the animation.
Sure.
And I'm like, wow, what is this? And watching episode 1, I have never felt more in awe of a world building setup of unique creatures and what they can do. And there is something so unfamiliar about that show that I was like, it was almost like, to me, growing up in the 90s, if you know the Max comics, it was almost like a modern day version of the world that Max lives in, where it's like just kind of creepy stuff, that all just are stuff and they all kind of want to kill you. But
yeah.
Dude, Scavenger's Reign is one of the most beautiful shows that I have seen. In like, there's times that I'm like, I would just pause it and just look at. I'm like, what am I even looking at? This is so crazy. What about that show caught you?
I loved how alien the life and the plants and the animals, everything, how alien everything felt.
Yeah.
It does. I mean, you see the first episode, those weird little shell crabs, like the big ones that I can't remember the character's name. The woman with the robot has to fight, like that stuff. The psychedelic fungi in the cave down below them, the little telepathic creatures. I'm trying to avoid spoilers because this is something that everybody should go out and watch.
Yeah, I completely agree.
And watch. And as the show keeps going, you see more and more just really, really bizarre, cool alien fauna and flora.
And I think one of the most interesting things this show does, which you don't really get a lot of in modern cinema, is that they don't really learn what these things do. They have known for a long time what this stuff does. Like, they'll go up to this one thing and they'll put this rock into like a root, and then that sends like this electric shock, which turns the one thing into like an umbrella. And then because of the shock, it makes the fruits fall. And then they use the umbrella as a stick. Like, it's just, everything is so well thought out and everything has such a cool purpose. And when you watch shows like that, I think there's so much heart and so much passion to it. What was like any of the subcontext that you were the subtext of the show? What were some things that you were picking up on that that maybe wasn't just people stuck on the, like, what would you think the point is?
The characters who, I'm going to try and be vague about this, or you can just skip forward like 30 seconds, like probably 60, 70 seconds after I say this. Now. Okay, they're gone. The people who try to get along and don't react violently to nature are the ones who come out okay.
Yeah.
Ursula primarily is the one who, like, she's always curious about things. She's always accepting of things. And everybody else who reacts kind of violently to it gets treated violently by it.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that's a neat little, like, kind of thing.
That is neat. I do like the kind of how, like, the electrical works and the ship mechanics, how that kind of mimics like some of the natural world. Like when you look at like the wires and everything, and then you kind of look at the forest and it's like, oh, all these vines kind of do the same thing. And then everything is using something for something else. And I thought that was interesting too. Like, there's one episode later on where it kind of starts with, this herd of animals that are going, and then this thing reaches down and kind of pokes it, and then it creates something, and then that animal goes off and does something else, and then that creates something else, which creates something else. And I was like, this show is so cool. It's so well thought out. So yeah, if you haven't seen Scavenger's Reign, please go check it out. I think that there is another part to it. I think there's something called Scavengers.
It was the creators originally made a short film, like a 15-minute short. That is mostly a rougher version of a specific scene in the first episode, I think. And they expanded it into a full series for HBO Max. HBO Max sold it or got rid of it because who knows what they're even doing anymore. Netflix picked it up.
It is on HBO too.
Oh, well, it's on Netflix now as well. So
Yeah.
go watch it there, and hopefully we can get a second season out of this thing because there is room for more.
Yeah, this is something special. This is not just content made to, stuff down your gullet and leave on TV. Like, you want to pay attention to this. You want to understand. Like, you're just kind of thrown into a world and you're like, well, I need to know what happened. Like, what happened to the ship? Like, why are these guys down here? Really, really cool. So please check out Scavenger's Reign on Netflix and HBO Max. You will not be upset about it. It is great. All right, so next segment, this is when we're talking about talking upstream. Now, if you guys don't know out there, Dylan and I had a wildly successful show called Talking Upstream, where we would find some of our favorite creators. We would interview them a little bit on their process and how they do what they do and why they do what they do, more importantly. And then we would pitch them original ideas, and then collectively we would work on some ideas and kind of get things going and use their process in making our process a little bit more evolve, which is great. So I made this huge bracket of all 52. We have 52 episodes over on our YouTube channel. I made a huge bracket where all the winners are on the bracket, and we're just going to do it single tournament style for sports fans out there. This week, we're going to have the numbers that are up are week 29 versus week 22. Dylan, if you do not remember, week 29 was with our friend Leo Effects, and shout out to him for having a great episode. That one we pitched God Pill and an idea we ended up calling MacGuffin. Do you remember these? Do you remember these at all?
I do, after I read our notes earlier today.
Yeah, I remember God Pill because I think that one was pitched a few times and was not really selected. But MacGuffin turned into something really, really cool. What do you remember now that you've reread it?
So MacGuffin was about a leprechaun that gets captured by a military squad and the fairies who try to get him out.
Yeah.
And it was just like Assault on Precinct 13, but featuring like fae creatures.
Yeah, or like the Raid Redemption with some mythological creatures. And that was awesome. Like, we had a great time. That was a great episode. Once again, you can check that out. That's episode 129 versus episode 22. Now, this one had our friends from the Super Bracket Bros, which is an awesome podcast. If you don't know, they kind of put people up against other fictional characters and make them fight. In this one of us pitched Accidental Mortal Kombat or Portal Combat / Combat Slumdog something. I'm sure it was way more concise then. Versus a historical figure Time Heist, which is kind of like Bill and Ted, but also Ocean's 11, which I think is what that turned into. Either way, that one won. Dylan, do you remember anything about historical figure Time Heist?
I think it was pitched as a time traveler collects a bunch of public domain characters that we don't have to worry too much about paying for / developing. And they heist something.
Wait, they go back in time to take just like public domain figures? Because some of those aren't real.
No, I think we used public domain figures. Because
okay.
Like, no, they're not real. Like, they weren't actually real, but in this universe they were.
Okay, cool. So it is a Bill and Ted of fictional characters to assemble an Ocean's 11 style heist.
Yeah, it was like Tesla and I think like Teddy Roosevelt.
I feel like Robin Hood was in it, maybe.
I think Robin Hood, maybe? I don't know. Edison. I remember that Edison was the leader of the bad guys. And he was he had a mech or something.
I mean, he is a goblin in real life, so that would make sense.
Yeah.
Okay, either way, that one won. So what we're going to do now is kind of confer for just a couple of seconds on what we think would win between MacGuffin, which is a leprechaun Raid Redemption style movie, versus historical Time Heist, which is public domain and kind of weird. And I think it would have a lot more problems for us to solve. Like, how do you go back in time to something that's not real? Like, how do you get that thing, Dylan?
Man, I don't know. What kind
of MacGuffin do you create that goes back in time to get something that is fictional?
I think MacGuffin was a reference to like the Leprechaun, wasn't it?
Once again, Dylan, you are way too smart for me. I was using MacGuffin as a reference to what I think is probably a superior project called MacGuffin.
I mean, I kind of like the idea of like just a heist where we're heisting the MacGuffin family, and it's like it doesn't really matter what we're taking. I remember the Leprechaun raid episode. I remember that being like a real kind of just goofy, like, yeah, we're just gonna see what we can do with this idea. I don't know.
Yeah.
So probably gonna go with the time heist because I like the title Time Heist. I like the idea.
You would choose Time Heist over the Leprechaun thing?
I kind of like the title more.
But how? But how do you go back in time to get a fictional character? How would you go back in time to get Robin Hood?
Well, I mean, you don't do Robin Hood. I think Robin Hood was from a different project.
Okay,
Robin Hood was from the Immortality Thief. That was different. That was from. Are we looking at the same projects? What episodes are we talking about?
I'm not looking at this thing at all. I was going by straight memory.
Oh,
and I could be wrong.
We had 2, at least, public domain League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Okay.
One was Time Heist, where it was historical figures getting pulled into a time heist. So it was like Teddy Roosevelt, Tesla, Edison was the bad guy. Then we had public domain Street Fighter tournament.
Love that.
Where it was, I think it was Gilgamesh getting a bunch of people together for a tournament to see who was the greatest in the world.
Yeah, no,
and it turned into a heist.
All right, we'll talk about that at a later episode.
Yes, okay. Between Time Heist and Leprechaun MacGuffin, I think I like Time Heist more.
Okay, yeah, I think that now that I understand it more, and it would be real historical figures doing some kind of heist through time, I think that I do like that more than just a raid for a leprechaun. Although I would love to see mythical creatures going just like ape shit on just levels of some kind of bad guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I'm cool with that. Okay, so historical figure Time Heist wins this week. And if you don't remember last week, we did a Bad Wishes support group versus Forced Body Swap. And if you've been watching any of our material, we've spent so much time on Forced Body Swap that one had to win. So that won last week, and it might be going up against this week, which is historical figure Time Heist. And if you have any concerns about that or any input, please just let us know. Like literally, just write me a letter and fold it into an airplane and throw it into the most beautiful gust of wind you've ever seen. And trust, I'll get it and I'll read it and I'll love it. All right, so that's mostly our show, folks. I appreciate everyone paying attention. We do have some questions, Dylan. If you have time for some questions from some of our just amazing fans.
5 to 10 minutes even.
We have I got roughly a half an hour for this. Okay, so obviously if you have any questions for Dylan, who is a doomsday prepper, who also rewinds his own VHS tapes by hand. He has just a wealth of knowledge on many different aspects, and we ask people to ask Dylan some questions in any social media you want. So one of our friends over on Instagram, their name is Filth Magnet, and they asked, could you please make up a jingle about a bad habit you have?
Interesting. Filth Magnet was a crust punk band I was in college.
Oh, maybe some of your bandmates.
Oh God, they've heard me make a jingle. I don't think I'm going to do that on the air for them.
But you have many bad habits that you do like to sing about. You're not just going to bust this out. Now, what is the rules of a jingle? Because I got caught off guard in one of our other shows where I was asked to create something, and I did not know what that was. And I don't think it was a jingle. It was a
limerick.
A limerick.
I remember that.
Yeah, and I was just thrown off because I did not know what an actual limerick was, which I think is 1 1 2 2 1, right? Like it's like 1 and 2 have to rhyme, 3 and 4 have to rhyme, and then 5 rhymes with 1. What is a jingle per se? Is that just a funky tune?
I guess it's a funky tune. Usually it's like an advertising thing.
Okay.
And it tends to be really short because it needs to be memorable and it needs to get stuck in your head with minimal time so it can repeat a bunch so you buy their product.
Okay. So hit me with your jingle about one of your bad habits.
when life is getting gross. No, wait, hold on.
What?
When he thinks that nobody knows, Dylan starts picking his nose.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, maybe.
That's cute. That's fine.
Okay.
Please,
God.
rate Dylan's jingle.
Ugh,
Okay.
God.
Next,
Learned a lot about me on this episode.
Dylan, please, can you create an impromptu dialogue where you interview a notorious villain? And this comes to one of our friends over on Steam at the Ninth Circler. Yeah. Okay. Oh no. Okay.
These questions are really involved.
Yeah. Impromptu dialogue. We interview a notorious villain. What notorious villain would you like to interview?
I think it would probably be Darth Vader, and it starts with me saying "Thank you for," and then he just chokes me to death.
Oh, sick! That's pretty impromptu. You just
yeah.
Choked out. Okay. All right. Next. This one is what is Zack Snyder's? What's his social media? Because I have an account and I get notifications on all the time. Vero, right?
Wait, he owns a social media company?
He either owns it or he's like the main sponsor of it. It's like his. Like people go in there for his stuff. I mean, anybody can post art stuff on it, but mostly it's like photographs and stuff that Zack Snyder.
Snyderverse.com.
Yeah. All right. So Betty White's a ghost over on Vero wants to know, Dylan, how does the idea of space make you feel?
I think it's interesting that I'm in it.
You know what, dude? You are in it.
There's a lot of space out there, and I'm just
so much space.
Well, person-shaped part of it.
Oh, that's cute. You're just in there.
Yeah.
You're just a little bit of stardust.
Yeah.
It's one of the many things I like about you.
I'll be gone before anybody knows it.
Okay. Okay. Over on MySpace, Viscous Thoughts likes to know, what's the dumbest thing you've eaten in the past 4 days?
Oh. I mean, realistically, I have probably eaten like the little paper wrapping on a thing of dark chocolate peanut butter cup.
Yeah, is that on purpose?
Probably not.
Oh,
I might have been doing a bit, but I was like,
dude,
honestly,
if you guys have not seen Dylan Eats a Paper Bit, it's pretty remarkable.
It's something.
It's long, but it's pretty good.
It takes me a very long time. You're there for the whole tract.
Now this one I got on Gmail. You can just send questions to Gmail, just straight at me. And
gmail@gmail.com. We get those.
Gmail@gmail.com. I'll get all those. And tools are for boxes at gmail.com. I'd like to know, Dylan, which fruit has the best pith?
Oh, do fruits have pith?
Yeah, I think the pith is like the white stuff that's around the fruit under like under the orange, like the white that's between the fruit and the peel. I think that's called pith.
Okay. I mean, I guess I'll say orange because I'm not opposed to pulpy oranges.
That's true. You do like some orange pulp, which is not pith, but honestly, it works. So we'll take it.
Okay.
Yeah. On Twitch, Rustic Trombone would like to know, if time could be baked, what temp would you use?
Ooh. If time.
Also, Rustic Trombone, that's a solid name.
It's something.
You don't like that?
I don't know. I get it.
All right. Do you get it though?
I get it.
Like it's old school. It's an old school trombone.
It's not not like a tarnished trombone.
No, it's rustic, Dylan. There's some patina on it, maybe.
Oh. Mandy Patina from The Princess Bride?
Mandy Patina, yeah. All right. So on Facebook, someone in Facebook Marketplace under the name of My Neighbor's Neighbor wants to know, can you measure happiness using the weight of a shadow? Wow, what a weird question.
I think people are just quoting my lyrics from Filth Magnet at me.
Oh, they found it. I did put out that
Yeah,
I put that digital mixtape out on our Facebook page.
They found our EP.
That's good. Actually, we're just gonna skip that one because that's a weird question. Also, the weight of a shadow doesn't make sense. Come on. All right, now Ford Focus Your Mind would like to know: would your tongue prefer flavor or texture?
Oh man. Probably flavor. It no matter the texture. If the flavor's really bad, no thank you. I could probably deal with a texture I disliked if the flavor was on.
That's fair. That's all the questions I have for you, Dylan. That's all the questions that were really just flooded at me. I am just the arc of questions.
I've seen them. Yeah.
Yeah, and I write them all down on Post-it notes, and that's why I have to put up this gray screen back here, because I ripped off wallpaper with the amount of Post-it notes I've put up and taken down just for questions for Dylan. But anyway, thank you guys very much for paying attention and listening to us. If you do want to help us out in any way, do you want to really push us to create some stuff? Obviously, we got a Patreon. If you want to throw in $1, we will thank you by your name. Whatever your name is, whatever you like to say, I'll make Dylan say it, or I'll say it, or we'll have our special guest say it. Either way, your name will be said because you helped us out, and we appreciate it. That makes you a nobodies. That makes you one of us.
Makes you a snoof.
That's a snoof. You're a snoofy now. And that could be part of your title, and no one can take that away from you.
Yeah.
That's fair. But if you want to find me, I'm everywhere. Zach Wiseman, you can find me everywhere. Dylan, if people want to talk to you, what do you want to do?
I prefer they didn't.
Okay, don't talk to Dylan. Talk to me, and I will ask him. I will ask him live.
You can find me at Vorpal Words on pretty much everything. Venmo, send me money.
You can send him money, or just ask me the question. I'll ask him live, and you get all that anyway.
I mean, I used to be active on writing Twitter, and then Twitter got exterminated. So I'm not really on social media right now.
Did you say exterminated?
I did.
Once I find out how to turn this off, how do you end this?
You're doing great.